Hello everyone, I am going to be demonstrating to you how to conduct the Phonemic Awareness Screener Assessment. So when you get your assessment, you're going to get a packet. Typically I administer all of the tests except for if you look at the last page, there's an additional assessment for identifying advanced vowels and R-controlled vowels. That is one that I don't typically administer on students. So when you're going through your packet, the beginning page kind of gives you an idea, just like an overall idea of the assessment. It does talk about if a student scores below 8 out of 10 or 80%, then you may want to consider that area as an area of intervention. Now, in the case of the grade levels that are administering this for those proficient and advanced students, you would use that guide, this guide, as to see where they're at, what they have in control, and then where they can move next. I administer all subtests, including the letter ID, and it doesn't matter which grade, because you would be surprised to find out how many students have a hard time transferring, or maybe they don't know their letters. There's a lot of common mix-ups like X's and Y's and whatnot. So it's just something to keep in mind, even for those older students. So what I'm going to do is I am going to record myself administering this with my daughter Emily. So forgive me if there's some sassiness going on. One of the things that I wanted to point out before I get started is that on the assessments it gives just general directions. So what I did was I pulled directions from a couple of different diagnostic screeners and assessments, and I used 2 sample words for the beginning of each one of these. The 2 words that I use are cat and sip, and I use the word cat I use the word cat to model the directions, and then I use the word sip to work through together. And the reason why I do that is because before I started doing that, I noticed that if a student had difficulties on the first one, they often had difficulties on the rest of them. But when it came down to questioning the students, they didn't understand the directions. So those are the 2 words that I use just to give more detailed directions and to really make sure that my students understand the task that's being asked of them. So another tip or suggestion that I have is, because it gets difficult flipping pages, I made copies of the pages on the back of the assessment. So this letter ID, the letter sound identification, and then the ones with the pictures. And I just put them in a sleeve so that way when I am administering them with students, I don't have to worry about tearing things off and then restapling them and whatnot. When you are annotating this, the universal convention is that if a student gets an item correct, you would put an X on the line. If a student gives an incorrect response, you would write that response. And if a student does not answer, you would either leave it blank or put a dot, much like we do with letter ID. On the rhyming production, I always write exactly what the student says because I want to look for those patterns. And that is true for subtests 6, 7, 8, and 9. So again, I just write their responses on 6, 7, 8, and 9 just to look for those patterns that they might have. But you must keep track of how many they get correct and how many they get incorrect. On the side of your scoring guide, it has a number out of 10, and you would put the number of responses they get correct out of 10. And again, this is useful because this helps you to see the areas that they need additional instruction in. Okay, in this next segment, you will see me administering subtests 1 through 3. So you may want to pause this video and grab a blank copy of the scoring sheet. I encourage you to try and follow along as much as you can and use this opportunity to practice with the conventions. All right, Emily, are you ready? I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? We're going to have fun with words. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a word, and I want you to tell me the first sound you hear in the word. okay? Listen to what I mean. So if I gave you the word cat, you would say k, because k is the first word in cat. Can we try one together? If I gave you the word sit, what would the first sound in sit be? Good job. You would say s because s is the first sound in the word sit. Got it? All right, let's try one. Mad. Rock. Get. Hot. Dig. Ship. Chain. These. Good job. Whale. Plug. All right, are you ready to try something different? Now I'm going to tell you a word, but this time you're going to tell me the last sound in the word. So if I said the word cat, you would say t because t is the last sound in the word cat. Let's try one together. If I give you the word sip, what would you say? P. Good job, because p is the last word in the word sip. Okay, are you ready? Cup. Kite. Seal. Grab. Bike. Wish. Sand. Dream. Cliff. Grass. Nice job. Okay, let's try something else. Now this time you're going to tell me the middle sound that you hear, okay? So if I give you the word, the middle sound or the vowel sound. So if I give you the word cat, you would say ah, because ah is the middle or vowel sound in the word cat. Let's try one. Sip. Good job, because it is what we hear in the middle, isn't it? Ready? Cab. Get. Nut. Big. Fox. Made.
I was going to say
Feet.
E
Rope.
O
Light.
8
Cube.
U
Okay. Now you will see me administering subtests 10 and 11. And these are the subtests that you will want to make copies of for the student handout. So the first one is going to be the letter identification, and that is one of the back pages that's attached to this. And on subtest 11, there are 2 student options that you can select. With the younger students, I prefer to use the picture cards. So that is page 8 and page 9. With the older students, I use the letter tiles on page 7. So with the younger students, you will show them the picture and you will use the prompt, what does the letter E say in the word elephant? Or what does the letter X say in the word fox? When you're administering to the older students, you can give them just the page and say something like, tell me all the sounds that the letter E makes. If they're struggling, then you can use the prompts from the picture cards. So you'll have to pay attention on your scoring guide to which ones they know. So you're going to be looking for, if they say for the letter E, but you're looking to see if they can make the E sound, then you could give them the prompt, what does the letter E say in the word eagle? Okay, I'm going to show you these pictures as a way to help yourself. I'm going to tell you a word, And if you look here, there's a letter, and I want you to tell me what sound that letter makes in the word. So your first word is elephant. What does the E say in elephant? Good job. E in eagle.
E.
L in ladybug.
O.
S in sun. S in runs. R in red. U in umbrella. U in cube.
U.
The first C in circle.
S.
X in fox. Okay, look at your chart here just so you know what your job is. X in fox. Z in zebra glue.
E.
I in ice cream.
I.
The last I in chili.
E.
H in hat. Y in yellow.
U.
Y in happy. Listen again. Look at your helper. Y in happy.
U. Or E.
Y in mystery.
Which one?
Oh, I thank you for asking. The second Y in mystery.
E.
Y in cry.
I.
SH in shark. CH in chair. TH in 13. WH in whistle.
Well,
Good job. Can you tell me the letters on this page?
CAHSR VRPU TNEBMLG JXFZW E.
What are the letters? Start here.
IQK YODONDYYHRPLEMTK.
So after you are done administering, you're going to go through and analyze the results. Once you have done your analyzing, on the bottom of page 5, you can see, as in my example here, you're going to want to note the student's areas of strengths and then also the areas of need and a possible plan for intervention. So these are going to be the areas that you target. So with this particular student, I just wrote Emily is secure in identifying initial and final consonant sounds, as well as blending phonemes into words. She is able to rhyme and can add, delete, and substitute phonemes in words. So those are some of the strengths that I noticed right off the bat with her. As far as areas of need, Emily needs more practice in securing medial sounds in words, as well as identifying some letter sounds. She does have her letter ID, but she is not fully secure with both the upper and lowercase letter Y. So that might be something that I just want to pull her to the table and do quick targeted intervention with for just a couple minutes a day. Um, Emily also needs more instruction on segmenting words with 4 or more segments. However, she was able to segment initial blends. So note that I didn't just write the subtests that she needed help in, I really looked at it and I analyzed it, and that's how I was able to tell that she was able to segment words that had less than 4 phonemes, but if it was more than 4 phonemes, that's where she struggled. So that would be a specific area. Thank you so much for watching. Please reach out to me if you have any other questions or if you would like to see more of the sub-test administered. If you also want to practice on students, let me know and I can help get that set up. But again, just reach out with any questions that you might have. Thanks again.